Many of you have probably already seen Vex30's video slash rant on how Yag is bad for the game and is killing the casual player base, right? And if you haven't, I would highly suggest you check it out before watching my video right now. At least skim through his video, since it's a little long. But after you get the idea from that video, you can come back to this one, and that link will be down below in the description. So, a quick summary of Vex30's thoughts on Yag. It doesn't make sense for Yag to have built-in DR. Yag makes casuals unfun. You can't beat Yag without counters or a proper comp. For example, he said that he got the information from Leighton. But solo tank with high mobility, which I can kind of agree, but you don't necessarily need to have solo tank. It can be duo tank, which I prefer more, because running solo tank into a tank with an execute isn't really smart. But he said that no one runs it, which I find hilarious. And that Yag makes drafting hard in ranked. So we're gonna go over these thoughts, not in a particular order. Just I kind of went through and which one was like, I guess the most important. I don't know. But Yag makes casuals unfun, right? To say Yag on her own makes casuals unfun doesn't really make sense. I play Yag all the time and I have a blast. But yesterday, for example, I played like 5 to 6 games, and I only saw one enemy Yag other than myself. You know, no one's insta-locking her, no one's fiending over her. She just really isn't played like that. So to say that she makes it unfun doesn't seem really realistic if no one's playing her. Okay, cool, you see her once in a blue. You're gonna see every champion once in a blue. You know, I hate Moji, so I'm not gonna say she makes it unfun though. I just don't like her. But if we want to talk about things that make casuals really unfun, you know, let's talk about people who are running 4 to 5 tanks, or like running 3 tanks with like 2 damage supports and stuff like that, like, or pirates, comps that actually need an actual solution compared to a champion that doesn't fit in every comp. You know, the champ has high impact, but your comp or the enemy's comp can make you redundant, and it's random. No one's picking, not no one, but like most of the time, people don't pick around my Yag pick, and I have to feed very hard to even get the slightest bit of value. Yeah. So next point, Yag makes drafting hard and ranked. In my opinion, Rom did the same thing. The easy solution for it is, if you don't know how to ban around her, I mean, yeah, if you don't know how to ban around her, ban her. If she's on the board, you know, you have to have that mindset of, we need to pick things that are going to be able to deal with this character until the enemy has basically shown that they're not going to pick that character. You know, it's like, it's ranked. It was the same way with Khan. It was the same way with Rom. Like, it was the same way with Atlas. When you have a strong character, and yes, I'm listing all tanks because I'm a tank player. I could list support options too, like when Genos was busted, or like when Grover was super crazy. You know, it's like, when there's super strong options on the board, you have to think like, can I draft around this? No, ban it. Ban it. You know, that's a community issue. If you don't know how to play into Yag, and your teammates aren't going to go along with an idea to play around it, that's a community issue. You cannot complain if you're like, okay, cool, like, I have an idea on how to beat Yag. This is not her best map. This is what we pick, and we'll be fine. I don't want to ban her. I would rather ban something else so that, you know, we can have a better draft. And your teammates go, well, I'm just gonna pick Moji. That's a community issue. Don't blame Yag. Like, that doesn't make any sense. The next point, though, he says it doesn't make sense for Yag to have built-in DR. This is true. It doesn't make sense for her to have it, but she needs it. And the reason behind that is because the devs have this weird make champ big kink, where they decide to continue to make things bigger and bigger, to the point where a blind squirrel could hit shots on them without even trying. Yag is so big that hitting shots on her is so easy that she's always getting hit, she's always cauterized, she's always getting stuck on walls because she's so big. And there's even certain spots on certain maps that she can't stand up in. Remember PTS with Yag, where you were forced to play Timber Mill every game and you couldn't play inside the cubbies because she's too damn tall? If you didn't play Yag, you don't know how frustrating that is. It's so annoying. And to top that off, You're telling me that a 40-pound cat moon girl can body block me? I'm a literal devourer of worlds. And I'm getting blocked by a cat woman. It's ridiculous. And you tell me I can't have DR. I can't get around her. I'm too fucking big. Yeah. next point. You can't beat Yag without counters or a proper comp, like solo tank and high mobility DPS, which, like he said, that no one runs. So I think is hilarious. I as a tank player, I can promise you, solo tank is run very much because I'm the solo tank. I lose games all the time playing solo tank. I lose games a lot of the times playing solo Yag, against teams that don't have hard counters. Your own literal team can be your counter, because if you're running Yag and your backline is Victor, Vivian, Tyra, which I know is highly unlikely, but what I'm trying to say is low mobility, you know, like, they're not going to be able to follow up on the amount of pressure that you create. And most of the times, you can give somebody Eevee and they're not going to follow you in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go behind the enemy team, make them all look at me, and then either they'll peel for me if I can't get away and they'll kill me, or they'll be like, she's not doing anything, so we're just going to go in, and then I'll make the right play and come up behind them, which won't make a difference because my team would just back off and let me die anyways. You know? So it's like, you don't need a specific comp to beat a character. Not everybody's the best Yag in the world, like yours truly. So if you got some dummy playing Yag and doing dummy stuff, they're just gonna die. You're gonna catch them out a lot. Most people don't even abuse the Yag tech that, like, with, like, you know, the air control thing that I've been doing on ROM and Yag, and I mean everybody does it on BK forever, which makes you a freaking menace because nothing that big should turn that fast. Right? So it's like most people don't even get the full value out of the character. So yeah. So, with my thoughts on a few of his stuff out of the way, I want to just take a quick moment to talk about a fix or fixes for Yag. If we want to fix Yag, the number one fix to her is going to be make her smaller. And if you say that's not possible, there was literally a PTS where Rom or whatever was a midget. I don't want to hear it. If you can make Tiny Rom, you can make Yag a little bit smaller. Make the change. I've seen other game companies tweak hitboxes. Make her smaller. Her issue is she's so damn big. And this fix would be so great because if you fix that, it will justify other changes. If you make her smaller, which will make her harder to hit and be able to stand up and do things in more areas, you can justify her not having built-in DR or just not having as much and making it greatly reduced, right? Make her startup speed on roll a little bit faster so she's not just getting blown up, so she doesn't need that DR. Allow her to swap forms whenever she wants so she doesn't go into ball form and just feel like, well, I'm going to die because I can't stand back up to where I have DR. You know, make it so she doesn't need it or doesn't need as much. There's simple changes that you can make that'll make the character feel less clunky and also not require to be the biggest and chunkiest thing in the game. Right? I mean, maybe you could even half the DR once you like do that and just put it in some into her traversal form. I don't know, but like the number one fix is gonna boil down to making her smaller because she's way too big. Way too. And with that being said, I'm gonna wrap things up because I don't really have too much to talk about. I want to make a quick video talking about the worm. So like I said, this video wasn't really meant to be long or anything. I just wanted to get my voice out there because if anyone's going to talk about Yag, I think I should definitely be in the conversation. I love Mama Worm. She's really fun and rolly. And even though she's my favorite champ, I do know she needs change. So hopefully, by me making this video, I've informed anyone or I've at least entertained you a bit. But I'm going to head out, you guys. I really hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night wherever you're at. And I will see you in the next one, if the gods permit it. Take care and keep having fun in the realm. Peace out, everybody.